Alright, Dillon Danis is in a lot of trouble today because he just got hit with a massive lawsuit that might affect the fight on October 14th. Will it? I'm going to break it all down here. There's a lot of misconceptions about the lawsuit that a lot of people aren't really even talking about, so I'm excited to break it down for you guys. I read through what was going on. I read through some of the documents, so I think I have quite an understanding. Of course, I'm going to start this off by saying I am not a lawyer, so I'm not at all trying to say that I know everything about the legal situation. I don't have much experience at being a lawyer besides watching all 6 seasons of Better Call Saul. So just take my words lightly, but I am going to be breaking down some of it. Before we get into that, I just want to remind you guys, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. We're trying to hit 20K by the end of the year. You guys are the best fan base in MMA, so if you guys could just help me to that goal, I would extremely appreciate it. And what's going on with Dillon Danis and Logan Paul in the lawsuit? So for those of you guys that have been living under a rock, Logan Paul and Dillon Danis are supposed to fight. Dillon Danis is an MMA fighter, undefeated, a jiu-jitsu black belt with high-level grappling skills, and he's going to be facing off Logan Paul in a boxing ring, and he doesn't have much boxing experience, nor is his striking really anything to, rave about. And they've had bad blood for about a few years now. Dillon Danis, being a training partner of Conor McGregor, has definitely picked up on his trash talking and things like that to sell a fight. And yeah, that's who Dillon Danis is. He trash talks a lot of people and everybody just to get attention for his upcoming fight. I'm not trying to diss him for that. I mean, that's just how some people do it, right? We see people like Colby Covington do this kind of thing. Guys that kind of play up that bad guy role just, for marketing and just to make the fights more exciting. Now, whether you agree with Dillon went too far or not is a different story. I would personally say that he might have went a little bit too far, but at the end of the day, I guess it all depends on what you guys would want. If you guys were to sell a fight, I don't know, it really depends. Is everything off the table? I don't know. That's up to anybody else. That's like everybody's own value. So Dillon Danis clearly doesn't think it's too far. And if you guys have been missing it, what am I talking about? He's been posting a lot of pictures of Logan Paul's fiance, who he just got engaged to, Nina Agdal. Now, this first started off as Dillon, posting a picture with her and Leonardo DiCaprio. Apparently, about 10 years ago or so, they dated, and the paparazzi caught her with multiple guys. This doesn't mean that she's dating all the guys. It just means, hey, she's been famous for a while, probably getting pictures taken of her with other guys. So it might look like that. I'm sure that she's sleeping with all of them. However, I doubt it. I mean, there is a few suspect ones. And Dillon is a troll, so of course he's going to do that kind of thing. And with the press conference going down how it did and everything happening like that, it seemed like we all knew that this was going to reach some sort of boiling point, right? Well, it finally happened. According to TMZ and Dillon Danis' Twitter account, Nina Agdal has filed a massive lawsuit on Dillon Danis for $150,000. This is also a federal case, which is a pretty big deal as well. And Nina Agdal is asking for a restraining order against Dillon Danis. Now, what does the restraining order actually entail? Well, it actually isn't as big of a deal as some people are making it, and I'm going to be breaking down who I think is in the right. Is Dillon going to make it October 14th? What does this lawsuit mean? Is Dillon going to win? And I'm going to break that all down right here and now. First thing I want to address, October 14th, I do not think that this will affect it whatsoever. He most likely will not get any jail time for this. There is a little bit of a question mark with that I'm going to get into later, but no, I do not think he is going to miss that October 14th date. Another thing to keep in mind is that I know probably you guys are watching this across around the world, but in the United States, you have to be proven guilty, right? You aren't just assumed guilty and have to prove yourself innocent. So they're going to have to make sure Dillon Danis actually did the things that she is saying. Nina's overall case is that, hey, that Dillon has tarnished her reputation by posting these photos and did so to ruin her reputation. Now, I don't think Dillon posted those pictures intentionally to ruin Nina's reputation. However, of course, it was going to be a byproduct of it. Dillon had to have known that was going to be a byproduct. I think he just did it to get in Logan's head, but of course, it's going to also ruin her and ruin her life as well, which is why it becomes a little bit of an issue and why I think maybe it is a little too far and why I think I wouldn't have done it. But I think one of the biggest things about this lawsuit that a lot of people aren't talking about is the idea that Dillon Danis might have posted private photos of Nina Agdal that were never supposed to be out to the public. Also to judge how much Dillon posting, naked pictures of her really affected her and her mental state and things like that, causing her emotional distress and basically suing for that. But the thing that I think is most interesting, like I said, is the idea that Dillon might have posted some private videos, and the video that I am talking about actually isn't even one of the naked videos or one of the nude photos or whatever. I am not going to play it, but I'm sure you guys will probably know what I'm talking about. Dillon last week or so posted a video of Nina, and basically this was Nina basically recording herself saying that she hasn't had sex in a while and basically that she wanted sex, right? And I think you guys know what video I'm talking about if you guys checked out his Twitter in the past week or so, but that one went pretty viral. I made a video actually recently talking about how viral that tweet went, and I don't want to show it because allegedly this is a private video and I'm not trying to get sucked into no lawsuit, right? I dumped all my money on that UFC 295 tickets, right? I'm not trying to get sued for even more money. But apparently on August 28th, when Dillon posted that video, Nina realized that that was something that was stored in her Snapchat from years ago that was never actually posted. Now, obviously, this is a big deal, and look, we're gonna get into, did Dillon hack into her Snapchat? We're gonna get into all of that, but that's what Nina's alluding to, right? She doesn't directly accuse Dillon of doing this, but that seems to be the kind of implication, and this is where it gets interesting. So she did hire a cybersecurity cybersecurity company or something like that to, you know, look at her Snapchat. So the cybersecurity team found out that on January 31st, 2022, her Snapchat password had been changed from an iPad mini in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, obviously, Dillon lives in New York, but we are going to get into an important part involving New York. So clearly, whoever changed his password, I mean, yes, it could have been Dillon Danis, however, most likely it was not, unless someone could figure out if he was in Phoenix, Arizona at the time. That would be pretty useful evidence. I'm sure there's probably some internet detectives that could figure that out, but regardless, apparently, whoever had that iPad mini and whoever hacked into the account had downloaded everything in her Snapchat. But what gets interesting is about a couple weeks later, there was once again another login, and the password was once again changed, but this time on February 16th, 2022 in New York City. That is where Dillon Danis lives, right? And also where I live, so who knows, maybe I'm the one that hacked the Snapchat account. That would be a massive twist, but I don't think it's Dillon hacking into these Snapchat accounts, but we're gonna get into it in a second. And yeah, with this being said, it is clear that someone must have hacked into her Snapchat account and downloaded a bunch of her data that she has, and to be honest, look, she is a celebrity, okay? This kind of stuff happens before. We've seen other celebrities get hacked, and of course it sucked. I'm not trying to say that she shouldn't be upset about it, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's Dillon Danis, right? I mean, to be fair, the first one was in Phoenix, Arizona, and New York City has a population of like 10 million people. Like I said, me being one of them, like there's no telling who could have hacked the Snapchat account. If there was any way for them to track down that Dillon Danis was in fact in Phoenix, Arizona that day, that would be a massive piece of evidence, because, you know, then it's like you have to find someone that was in Phoenix and New York. But I think most likely there's probably other things at play. There's probably people out there that we don't even know of hacking into other celebrities' accounts. That's just my guess. And probably selling accounts and selling passwords. I could imagine that's definitely something that's going on. So with that being said, I think this thing was maybe leaked underground, and especially since Nina isn't such a big actress or a big model anyway, you know, not a lot of people are going to be knowing about the hacking. And I think probably someone sent it to Dillon. Dillon assumed, hey, maybe that this was public, and posted it. Now, does that make Dillon in the right? Absolutely not. It is extremely irresponsible regardless to be posting things and not really knowing where it's coming from, because this is how you get into situations like this where you may breach someone else's privacy and actually get in big trouble. So the restraining order that Nina is putting on Dillon is to stop posting inappropriate pictures of her. I think that's totally understandable. Don't think that's a big deal. Don't think it's silencing the hype of the fight. Totally get why she would do that. But this isn't one of those things where he's going to go to jail, right? Like, they have to prove that he was the one that hacked into it, to my understanding, and I just think that's unlikely, seeing that I don't even think Dillon hacked into it, or I don't even think that Dillon knows how to hack. So yes, maybe he hired a hacker to promote a fight that was over a year and a half away, but I think most likely that this was probably someone else and someone sent it to Dillon. I can only imagine there's probably a lot of people sending stuff to Dillon, and Dillon just probably assumes that they're all public. It was probably a mistake on his end, but regardless, super irresponsible of him. Guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Who is in the right? Who do you support? Who do you think is going to win the fight? Do you think that Nina, you know, should get a restraining order against him? Do you think it's right? Who are you supporting here? I think Nina's in the right here, if we're going to be honest. It's the only person I feel bad for in this situation. Guys, thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best fan base in MMA, and I'll see you guys in the next one.